So for the second part, we will need to use the inequality of the mean, the arithmetic mean and the geometric mean. Now I will explain what I'm going to use, but if you're not very used with it, search it and do some examples. Okay, so look, he's asking you uh, x plus 1 divided by x is bigger or equal to something, and this might seem really strange if you're not uh, used with this, but as I said, whenever you see something like this, you need to think that getting it squared is a good idea. Why? Because x plus 1 divided by x squared, you will end up with what? X squared plus 2 multiplied by the first multiplied by the second, and here you will end up this dividing by this, you will end up having only 2, right? Plus 1 divided by x squared, so you'll end up having x squared plus, we already did that, remember? So this is always a good idea to do when we have this. But so let's talk about the mean, the inequality mean. So it tells us, let's say that this box is A, okay? That's A. So the inequality mean tells us if we have two numbers, let's call one of them, actually this is not A over here, okay? Let it be a box over here. So let's have two numbers, okay? A and B. A and B, two numbers, A and B. So what is the arithmetic mean? So the arithmetic mean is A plus B divided by 2, right? If you had your grades 10 in a subject 5 and 10, you would do what? 10 plus 5 plus 10 divided by 3, right? You have 3 subject and you sum the points. So this is the arithmetic mean. The geometric mean is different. You will have the square root of A multiplied by B. If you had 3 subjects, you will have the cubic root of A, B multiplied by C. If you had 4 A, B, C, D, okay, and there it goes. So the formula we have is that A plus B divided by 2 is always bigger or equal to the square root of A multiplied by B, and this is valid even if it was 3 terms, 4 terms, even if there was C over here, okay? But if you want to prove this, you can, like, let's prove it by two ways. So A plus B is bigger or equal, this 2 will go to the other side multiplying, 2 multiplied by square root of AB, right? I don't need to stay writing this, yes, this way. So now let's put it squared in both sides. So A squared plus 2AB plus B squared is bigger or equal to 4AB. Okay, so what are you going to have now? You are going to have A squared. Now this will go to the other side over here, right? Minus 4AB plus 2AB plus B squared is bigger or equal to 0, right? 0 over here. So A squared minus 2AB minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2AB plus B squared is bigger or equal to 0. Now this is a perfect square, right? So A minus B squared is bigger or equal to 0. And this is true. This is always true. Can you see that this can never be negative? Why it can't be negative? It doesn't matter what we have inside over here. It is squared. So even if it was negative over here, it will be squared and it will become positive. So the only way this thing is to be positive number or 0. So it must be bigger or equal to 0. So this is true. and this proves this formula over here. You can do it the other way too, okay? You can prove it like you can say as a minus b squared, any number squared, it doesn't matter what we have over here, is bigger or equal to 0. We can have that, so a squared minus 2ab plus b squared is bigger or equal to 0. So we will have that uh, a squared plus b squared is bigger or equal to 2ab. Let me just take this part over here. Lost it. Here. Took it now. Yes. Here. So a squared plus b squared divided by 2 is bigger or equal to ab, and now we need to actually let's in this part over here, let's sum 2ab in both sides, okay? 2ab in both sides, so we have a squared plus b squared, a squared plus b squared plus 2ab plus b squared is bigger or equal to, and we sum 2ab over here, so 4ab, okay? So I just added 2ab in both sides, okay? So adding doesn't change anything. So this is a perfect square. A plus b squared is bigger or equal to 4ab. Okay, so a plus b divided by 4, this is squared, is bigger or equal to ab. And now let me here. So now we proved it again. Let's take the square root, so a plus b squared in the root, so a plus b, 4 the squared is 2, is bigger or equal to ab squared. So this equality, how do we prove it? Well, by having in our minds the idea that where is it, this is always true, okay? This is what you need to think in your head. A number squared is always bigger or equal to 0. So now I know that I took too long talking about this inequality, but now we can just solve it immediately, like by use is the form here, this formula over here. So in our case, a is x plus b is 1 divided by x divided by 2, okay? Because this is what this is a and this is b, okay? So this must be bigger or equal to the square root of ax multiplied by b, 1 divided by x. You see why this was a good idea? You see why this was a good idea? Because here we will only have 1, right? X multiplied by 1 divided by x is 1. So here x plus 1 divided by x, this 2 will go to the other side multiplying, okay? So is bigger or equal to 2 multiplied to the square root of 1, which is 1. So we'll have this is as a 2. So it's bigger or equal to 2, okay? So this is our answer for the question 1. Now for question 2, okay? So he wants the minimum value. So remember the function that we did find for y. So we said that y is equal to t cubed minus 6t squared plus 3t. Wait, actually no, plus 12. Okay, so this was our formula, right? It was in red, I just deleted it, right? So if you want to play with maximum and minimums, you need to remember, you derive and say that it is equal to 0, right? So we want to find when t is equal to something, x is equal to something, and y has a minimum value. So let's find these minimum values, okay? So y comma, the derivative of y is 3t squared minus, I'm just doing derivative, okay, calculus, 6 multiplied by 2 is 12t, and the derivative of 12 is 0. So if we want to find maximums and minimums, 3t squared minus 12t is equal to 0. Remember, the derivative gives you a slope, so let's say this is this function over here. So the derivatives give us the slope in each point. If you want the points in maximum and minimums, the derivative is 0 because the slope is 0, okay? So, okay, so t, actually, so over here, okay? So 3t outside and t minus 4 equals 0. What did I do? I just took the 3t outside. If you do the opposite, if you take this 3t squared minus 12t, okay, if you want to do this. So for this to be 0, for this to be 0, if t was 0, then we have an answer, right? T multiplied by 0 is 0, multiplied by something else is 0. So t equals 0 is an answer. Or if this term was 0, so if t equals 4. Why? Because 4 minus 4 is 0, and 0 multiplied by 3t is 0. So this is our two answers, okay? So let's, if you want to check the minimum and maximum, you can do the second derivative, but I think it's always easier to just put the values over here, okay? So for the 0 value, when t is 0, y is equal to what? Well, 0 minus 6 multiplied by 0, 0 plus 12, right? So when t is 0, we will have y is equal to 12. So we'll have 0 and 12. What about 4? Well, 4 cubed minus 6 multiplied by 4 squared plus 12. How much is this? 4 cubed is 48, okay? 48, right? Let me just check it over here. 64. 4 multiplied by 6 is 4. 4 multiplied by 1, 4, 5, 6 is 64. Sorry. It is 64. It did feel weird. So 64 over here, and 6 multiplied by 16, 4 squared is 16 minus 6, so 6 multiplied by 6 is 36, 6 multiplied by 1 is 6, and 9, so minus 96 plus 12, so 64 plus 12 is 4, 5, 6, and 7, minus 96. So we'll have 0 over here, and so we'll have it minus 20, okay? So we'll have that it is 4 and minus 20. If you people usually get lost in the video when someone starts doing a lot of numbers, but I didn't do anything magical, okay? There is a value, a critical value when it is 4, so I just took the 4 over here in this equation over here and I substituted. So do it in a paper alone and you will find this answer over here, okay, which is minus 20. So which one is our point of minimum? Well, the 0 gives us a 12, but the 4 gives us a minus 20, so the minimum is 4, right? So 4 is the minimum. So this one over here is the minimum. So the answer t minimum is equal to 4. Okay, so what else did he want? Well, the x. Well, the x is no problem, right? Why? Because remember, t is equal to x plus 1 divided by x. But in this case, t is equal to 4, right? So let's find the value of x. Well, let's do the MMC over here, the minimum common multiple. I don't know how it's called. X squared plus 1 is equal to 4x, right? So we have x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. So 4 plus or minus 16 minus 4, which is 12. Okay, just solving the quadratic formula, minus b plus or minus delta divided by 2a. Okay, solving the quadratic formula. So divide by 2. Now you need to remember that 12 is equal to 4 multiplied by 3, okay, which is equal to 2 square root of 3. Okay, so 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 3 divide by 2. So we'll have 2 plus or minus square root of 3. Okay, so this will be our x minimum. X minimum is equal to 2 plus or minus square root of 3. Okay, is there anything else you want? And y has the minimum value. This we already found, right? Minus 20. The y value is equal to minus 20. Okay, we already calculated this. We did it over here when we checked this monstrosity. Okay, so this is it.